Now, today's show is a reminder that there is no such thing as a perfect mother. Yes, there will be hard days, days when you do not want to show up. But with a good support system and awareness, you can overcome postpartum depression. So come with me today as we meet a lady called Pascaline. I can even hear her and her kids having a good time inside as she shares her story with us.
Mom, somebody is at the door.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I could hear you and the kids chatting.
Yes.
Having a good time.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Nice.
holiday time.
It is.
Nice
to meet you. It's a
you.
pleasure.
Yeah, it's a pleasure too.
I'll get the door for you.
You're welcome.
You have a lovely home.
Thank you.
Hi, guys.
Thank
How are you? Are you well?
So
High
we are
five.
full house.
Oh, good girl. Nice. And hi, Mama. She's so cute.
Thank you.
Hi, baby. How are you? How old is she?
Yeah, 9 months now.
She's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Oh, well done, Mom.
Thank you very much.
Well done. I see you in an apron. What are you up to?
I was cooking. Sorry for me when I was just finishing up on preparing
Making breakfast. Oh,
yeah.
I
Don't mind if you can join me?
Yeah, sure. Would you?
Yes, please. If we could have first just raise our hands
Okay.
before we proceed.
Yes, please. How are the holidays going with the kids?
Really nice. Sometimes they're really happy they're around. Other times they are really
Overwhelming.
overwhelming.
I know the feeling.
Here we go.
Thank you so much. I can put this on the side.
I can actually help you with that. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so it's a good time when they're at home because there's a lot of activity going on. So you don't have to be too bored.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So sometimes they make a lot of noise and you're like, I need them to go somewhere. You let them
I know.
parents place or something.
I
Then
know.
when they go in like a day or two,
You
you're
miss
ready-
them.
you're
Mine
ready to miss them.
just came back from their grandma, so I know the feeling. The house was too quiet.
Yes.
Too quiet.
Okay, so I was just finalizing.
Okay.
I was finishing up with the eggs. Grace, how do you like your eggs?
No, I'm at your house. I'll have it as you usually have yours.
Oh, really? Okay. So we're going to have them fried.
Okay.
It's
you so
easier now
much.
that you found me having cooking breakfast. I think it's the easier way to.
And thank you for inviting us to your home.
You're
we really
welcome.
appreciate it.
You're welcome, Grace. I am so honored to be hosted by you.
Oh, bless. We're the grateful ones for having you share your story, because many women go through postpartum depression and either they have no idea they're going through it or they just don't know what to do.
True. I agree.
Right?
Yes.
So for you, when was your first experience of it?
I got depression after my second baby.
Uh-huh.
Mommy.
Yes.
Mama.
Okay, not now, Mama. Just a
Mommy is
minute.
cooking.
Let
I
me
carry
just
you.
finish cooking. Let me just finish cooking. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I got depression after my second baby.
I carry you? Okay, Mama.
And
Let's watch Mommy cook.
okay. So and I was so much okay after my first baby.
Yeah?
Yes.
So you never experienced it the first
I
time?
never experienced it the first time, and that's how come I didn't even know, what this was, and I didn't even know there's something like postpartum depression. So when
So even as it was
happens-
happening,
yes,
you didn't realize this could be depression?
I did not realize
Okay.
because I did not even know there's something like depression that you can get after baby or during
Yeah.
pregnancy.
Yeah.
That was not information that I had because with my first one I was so much okay.
Yeah.
So, and I keep on saying that probably one of the reasons why, it happened after my second baby, with your first baby, what happens is that everybody in the family, your friends, they know you have a baby and they know that you do not have another baby. So they feel inclined to want to support you more, because they're like, oh yeah, she has a baby, she probably needs to understand how to do latching, how to do
Yes.
this and that.
The first time, let's help.
Everybody is there to support you and to
Yeah.
help you. But with the second baby, everybody assumes, you
You've done this before.
You've done this before, so
Yeah.
you should be good.
Yeah.
So they'll just check on you, yes, but maybe just phone calls, like, how are you doing? Are you okay? How's baby? Just the norm, I need to check on her because, we're family or, and once in a while, of course, they're going to check in and just check how you're doing. But you see, the truth is, you know, when you are depressed, you need much more than just a normal conversation. Like for you to be able to come out, you know, and just say it as it is.
So when did you notice or realize this was not normal?
So baby is not latching and she's crying. So of course it gets to me. But I'm trying to ask everybody around and nobody's understanding because like just the way you are surprised, everybody's wondering how were they able to do it
And then
when
all of a sudden.
and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
they're not able to breastfeed.
Yeah.
So it was an issue for me because I couldn't get the help that I needed.
Okay.
So I struggled and then I started expressing. By that point, I also did not have enough milk. So now it was also an issue of expressing, but I'm getting very little milk. So she's still not also, because you know when they are breastfeeding, they are able to pull harder than when you know expressing. So she was not getting enough milk. So she would still cry because she's hungry. So it started, you know, affecting me and all that. And it lasted for like a week. So after a week, I just thought, okay, I need to understand what the problem is. So I just put my finger in her mouth. And I understood like how is she latching so that I know how to position her. So she's able to, so I just tried with my finger, then with my finger I could tell, oh yeah, now she's able to, you know, hold it nicely.
I see.
So I just tried like that until finally she was able, I just did it like for I think 2 days.
Oh wow.
And she was able to again
latch
breastfeed.
again.
It was such a relief for me because I had really struggled. And I didn't know. You know, at that point, you don't even know whether you're supposed to go to Hosi and ask the dog, as in my baby's not being able to latch.
Yeah.
So what do I do? So it becomes very frustrating. And because baby also expects to feed. So baby does not understand that you have a difficulty somewhere. So automatically, you know, it frustrates you because you're not able to do what you expected you would be able to do.
Mommy's finishing.
Yes, we are done cooking.
We're done?
Here.
Okay. We
So
can
I don't
move
know whether
over.
we can just go to the other side.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, so it can be very frustrating, and especially because of that. One key reason why it frustrates is because nobody will understand those basic aspects of parenting that you are struggling with them.
Right, Nadia, you were telling me for you it started with the postpartum, started with baby not latching.
Yes.
And that's when it all began for you.
Yes, that is when it all started. That was when baby was 2 weeks, like I had mentioned. And like I mentioned, I finally managed to retrain the baby to be able to, you know, finally breastfeed again. And for me, it was such a relief, you know, finally baby can feed again.
So that didn't make things easier. What happened next?
Yeah, just when I thought now I can finally breathe in and out and raise my baby, we started struggling with colic. Yes, so baby started becoming fussy, she could not sleep. So we are here with sleepless nights, we cannot, you know, and you know, with colic, then you start now thinking of what could be the cause of the colic.
Did your firstborn have colic?
Yes, but she never suffered as much as the second-born baby did. Yeah, with the firstborn she cried, but we used some of the medications that are normally advised, and she was fine.
Infacol and
yes. Now with the second baby, nothing worked. Nothing worked. So now we started the elimination method. What are you eating? That could be causing the colic. So now what happens, Grace? When you start, of course, eliminating the food, and of course, you know, your friends, your family know that you're suffering with a baby with colic, the first thing that happens is that people now start, you know, like giving you ideas of what you're supposed to do. Oh yeah, you know,
and everyone has a solution.
Everybody has a solution.
Yeah.
So, you know, everybody will just come with, oh yeah, this is what you need to eat. Oh no, that one is, no, don't do this, do this, do that, do that. So what now happens is that it was supposed to be health, but it confuses you more, you know. So I ended up very confused, and I can tell you at some point, I got to a point I didn't know what to eat because we had practically removed everything from my food because baby is suffering colic. And you know, you go meet probably to my friends, my husband, oh yeah, someone said do this and that, remove this, do this and the other one. So I got to a place where now I got more confused, and now it started frustrating me because now, remember, I'm supposed to feed because I need milk. But now again, we are eliminating everything that I was supposed to be feeding.
So it's affecting your milk production as well?
It is affecting my milk production as well. And remember, with my first baby, I also never suffered with milk production, by the way. My baby breastfed the whole time. But with my second baby, I'm struggling with milk production. I also have colic here, you know. So it was quite a struggle.
Latching is a process. Colic for most or some babies that will happen. But at what point does a mother at home know I am suffering depression because of this? So those are the things you're mentioning. You're irritable?
Yeah, you become very irritable. You become very emotional. you'll find yourself crying almost all the time. Like very small things will make you
will trigger
crying very fast.
Yeah.
And then you feel hopeless. Because remember, when you're unable to do what you thought would be automatic, you feel helpless. And you start feeling like you're not a very good enough mother. Because remember, there's so many other friends that you have who have babies, and you do not remember them struggling like you are.
And you had your firstborn, and you said you didn't struggle the first time.
Exactly. I had my first baby, and I did not struggle as much as I am now. So the first thing is like, so what am I doing wrong? Am I not being a good mother? Was I even ready for this baby, you know? And you start feeling like you are not even ready for this task, you know? And you start blaming yourself. So it becomes a blame on yourself. You start blaming probably like your husband. No, is even being supportive enough, you know? Because emotions are all over. So you are just very emotional about everything. So what used to happen is that during the day, I just like I can tell you, like I think 80% of the time I just used to spend just crying. So I never even spent enough time taking care of my baby. Because during the day, I just give my house girl my baby, and then I just go to the bedroom and just cry. You know, I don't even know why I'm crying, but I just want to cry, you know, so I just cry. And
on that note, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back and hear more about what postpartum depression is really like and how to get out of it. Stay tuned. Today we're talking about postpartum depression, and thank you, Pascalina, for inviting us to your home.
Thank you very much.
Your very beautiful home and feeding us. We're so grateful.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Guests be like this, please. Thanks. But your story, thank you for being honest, because I know there are many women out there who are either going through the depression or have been through it, and people around them wonder and understand what's happening. They think, like as you mentioned, am I a bad mom? Even for you, you question yourself.
Yes.
So you were just taking us before the break, telling us how during the day you'd just be crying and hand over baby. So tell us more.
So I realized that I'm having all these crying episodes. So during the day,
So you couldn't take care of your child?
I couldn't take care of my child. So, you know, even the bond gets affected, because you start feeling like you're not sure whether you really wanted this baby, you know, and you're really struggling. So you're like, just take the baby, let me just go and, you know. So instead of going to rest, I used to go and cry. So I'll cry, and then at night, because for some reason I start feeling like people should just not see you crying. So at night, I'll just be like, you put a brave face when hubby comes. Then when he goes to sleep, I just go back to the sitting room and just start crying again. So so it was really bad.
And what do you think led to it? Something you just said, you felt, was I ready for this baby?
Yes.
Were you? Did you?
I think I was ready, but I think the things that came with having this baby, I was not ready for. Because I had a previous baby who I sailed through easily. And so whatever I was going through with the second baby was not things I anticipated. So for me, I think that is where the issue was. So I kept on wondering, why am I not having, I did not feel prepared. And then I'm also wondering, so now I do not have enough milk, so what do I do? And remember, the issue now starts, you know, the societal expectation is that you're supposed to breastfeed your baby up to 6 months. So you start feeling guilty that you might have to supplement, you know.
And you feel guilty for that. And yet your baby's hungry.
Yes.
Why do we do that to ourselves as mothers?
I know, but it's the society. Because, unfortunately, we focus so much on the society, by the way. But it gets to a point where I realize you need to stop focusing on the society and focus on yourself. I think that's where I got with my third baby, that I decided I am going to focus on myself now. Forget about expectations, forget about what people think you should do and what you should not do. Do what best suits your family and yourself and your baby. As long as you're all okay, that is what matters at the end of the day.
So if you think about it, most of this depression happens because of what's happening around us and the noise we're hearing. It could be from hubby, it could be from the family or society as well is telling you, no, this is how you raise a child.
Yes.
And you feel like you can't meet the demand, and it's not fair on anyone, isn't it?
No, it is not. It is not. And that's why, Grace, we need to talk. Because the other issue is that mothers are not talking. They're not telling the truth about motherhood and the challenges that come when you're a new mom. So most of the times you put these, you know, when we go on social media, you're just putting these pictures of beautiful.
We highlight it's the showreel.
The beauty.
Just highlights and happy moments.
Yes. Do you know sometimes you actually might just be posting that picture of you and your daughter happy, but after that, you go back to your depression, you go back to your, sadness, you go back to what you are feeling. Yet what people think you are actually, experiencing is totally different from what you are actually experiencing.
Did you ever seek help?
Yes, I did. So when it got to that point where I realized...
Did you know it was time? What led to that?
it got to a point where I was very desperate and I needed help. I just knew I'm not myself. I didn't know what was happening, but I just knew I was not myself. And I had become this, I had totally changed. Like I never had happy moments. My personality, I am very jovial. I talk a lot. The people around me, people who know me will just tell you.
Even from meeting you, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you. So now I'm very happy. I'm always smiling. I'm always having a good time. You know? So I had become this person who is ever sad, who is ever quarreling, who is ever, you know, like I had become a totally different person. And I could feel it in my body. I could feel I'm not okay. Yeah. And I was very, very desperate to get better. So I just thought, okay, so what do I need to do? So I'm a believer myself. And on Sundays, I couldn't go to church because I did not have help on Sundays. So I decided, okay, what I think I'll do, I think I'll just be going to Bible study on Wednesdays. So a certain Wednesday, I went for Bible study, and the entire time I was just crying. You know, like, whenever people would pray, as in like I was just very emotional and I just cry because I knew what I was going through. And I kept on praying to God, like, I just know I'm not okay. Can I just be okay? Can I just be myself again? I talked to people, but the people I talked to, I think, were also not very sure how to help me. Yeah, so it got to a point where I didn't understand exactly what you're going through. So when I was there and I was sad, a certain lady realized I was not okay. And she asked me whether I can, you know, just have coffee with her at her place. I was like, okay, yeah, because I needed someone to talk to. So we organized on a day, and I went and saw her. So on that day when I went to see her, we talked for a very long time. And before I left, because I knew I did not have enough milk, so what I did, I expressed my milk, and then I left what I could, and then I didn't expect it to take so long. So what happened is that because of I got carried away with the talking. You know, I just want to pour out my heart. I just want to talk and get and feel better. So yeah, it took a bit longer than I expected.
What happened?
So milk got finished at home. And remember, I was not supplementing. So the only food that baby had was my milk.
Oh no, and you're not home.
And I'm not home. So what happens? I start getting calls from home. Where are you? Baby does not have milk and baby is crying. And behind, I can actually hear the baby crying. So I said, okay, so I'm like, okay, fine, I need to get home. So because of the calls, and remember I'm also not okay emotionally, I got into a panic mode and I just got stressed out. So I'm supposed to come home, and I do not know how I just end up lost somewhere in Kibera, and I do not know how I'm supposed to get myself out of that place. Oh, no. And of course, no, I'm taking longer to get home, so everyone is like, okay, we said baby doesn't have milk, so where are you?
Everyone is just frustrated at this point.
Everybody's also frustrated because baby is crying, they don't know what to do with the baby. And me, I'm here, I'm also frustrated because now I'm even lost. Yes. So I was so stressed out. Then I called the lady again. I told her I'm lost and I think this is what I can see around. So she figured out where I was. Then she guided me back to Ngong Road. So when I got there, as I was coming home, I was so emotionally, you know, I was so emotional, on a panic mode and all that. I did not realize that there was a car passing. There was an intersection just very close to where I lived. And before I knew it, I almost got crashed. You know, like there was a car, I just heard screeching, and a car that is, you know, braking on an emergency brake and hooting. So of course I just like sped off a bit and then I slowed, and that is when I realized, you know what, I'm not okay, I need help. And yeah, so I just drove slowly. Of course, they went hooting because I mean, you know. So I
must have been
just
shaking by the time you got home.
I was so shaken. I was so shaken. Thank God I was close to my home. Otherwise, if I was far, I don't know how I would have even driven. Thank God I was not very far from home. So I just went and parked the car. I took like 2 seconds or 2 minutes just to get myself together. Then I got to the house. I did not even talk. I just took the baby. I started breastfeeding, and then baby was okay now. We just kept quiet. Hubby went to sleep, and then I just started crying because I realized I had gone to get help. I was feeling much better by the time we were done discussing.
And then this happens.
Then this happens. So I'm back to where we started.
So when did things change?
So now on that day, someone just, when I told them what I had gone through and all that, someone just mentioned to me, you know what, Pasi, may think you might be depressed. So then I realized, oh, there's something like depression. So I just Googled and understood, oh yeah, I was like, oh, I think the symptoms, they really, you know, what I'm going through, it's what I'm going through. So then I started asking, because she told me, no, you can actually see a counselor. So I tried sourcing out for a counselor. I got someone who recommended a counselor, and I went and saw the counselor. So the beauty of it is that I had a counselor who was always checking on me. I got appointment, and I was so desperate to get better. So everything she said, I followed to the letter. You know, like anytime she would call, she'd ask me, so have you done this? What have you done today?
What are some of the treatments or
She
advice?
asked me, what do I love doing? Because sometimes it's also like, what do you love doing, so that you don't have to feel like you're struggling. If you don't love walking, you know, it's a good thing, but probably you prefer, you know, just going and chatting with friends, which will help you better. So for me, walking was a good idea for me. So she told me, like, every day, just make sure you take time off, go walk, even if it's for 30 minutes, like an hour, and then come back, and then you're going to be feeling better because you've taken a break. Ask for help, because again, it gets to a point where you feel like, as a mom, you need to be doing everything alone, you know, but it is not good for you. Because remember, when she's crying with colic and when she's not sleeping because, you know, she's not latching well, I am there with her up the whole night during the day, so I'm not getting enough sleep. So what does that do to you? Then you get overwhelmed, and you're unable to bond well with the baby, and of course not
the milk production. Like, it's a vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle, yes. So it affects you, and of course it affects your
mental
ability and your mental health as well. So that is when now I started getting help, because now I had the counselor, and I had now the mom from the church who was also, you know, like sending me songs, sending me encouraging messages, checking up on me. And slowly but slowly, and my husband also got to understand about depression and what it entails and what it is. And I think it came in handy, because the moment he understood that it is not me who has changed, it is actually me who has fallen ill after getting birth. Because remember, mental illness and depression is an illness like any other illness.
And you mentioned before, it affected your relationship with baby, of course.
It affected
and the firstborn.
Yes.
How did it also work with hubby?
It affected my relationship big time, because what happens is that he's there, so he's giving me the support that he thinks I need at that time. So he's going to prepare probably something I need to take or something like that. But what I probably feel like I need at that point is probably just take the baby from me. You know, at that time, you just feel like I'm not getting the support that I want from him. On the other hand, he is also thinking he's giving you the kind of support that you need. But when I look back now, if you ask me, he did everything he could. Like, that's what he thought.
That conversation?
No, we didn't. And I think that's where the problem started. Because there is that also, you know, it's like a weakness that we have, that you always imagine that this is how I want help. They should know.
Women, we assume
that they should know. Exactly. Yeah.
You know me, I'm your wife.
Yes. Unfortunately, they do not know. They can't read your mind. So when you don't speak it, then of course he might not be able to know that this is what you want. So now if he does not do that, again, now you are also frustrated that he's not helping me the way I want.
Thank you for pointing that out. I think women at home, they need to, naturally we do that. We assume our better halves should know and figure us out without us having to articulate. But also the fact that you sought for help, and that brought light, and your husband is now able to understand. I hope at home someone who may be in a similar situation has a better understanding now. But do stay tuned. We're right here with Pascalina. Keep it here, Unscripted. Pascalina, so you were, from your experiences, I love what you've done with your story. You're looking back and finding other women who are going through postpartum depression, and you decided you need to do something about it, and you have a foundation. You took it a step further. You even left your job, and now you're focusing on that. I have to applaud you for taking that huge step of faith.
Thank you.
Tell me more about it. It's called Calm Mind?
Calm Mind Foundation.
Tell me about Calm Mind.
So where it all started was when I got help and I recovered. I wanted to understand what I had just experienced with the depression. So what I did is I Googled a lot. So I got all this information regarding, you know, depression.
Google
I tell you, it comes in handy.
It does.
So I Googled and I got a lot of information. Then one day I just thought, you know, I'm getting a lot of information, and maybe there's another mother out there who is struggling with what I was struggling with and doesn't have this information. So probably if I came up with just a Facebook page where I can just be posting what I find, you know, just sharing information. Nothing much, just sharing information. So that's what I did. I started sharing information of what I came across. So signs, symptoms, causes, risk factors, how does it feel, you know, stories of mothers who have gone through depression, others who have gone through anxiety. And, you know, so I shared all that information.
Got it.
Then I got so many feedback messages on in the inbox of moms who thought they were going through what I was going through. And so they were asking, where can we get help? What do you think we should do? And all that. Then I realized I only had the information that I was getting from Googling. I did not know where to send them for help. I had this person, one person who helped me, but I can't send like everybody. So I needed like to know where do people get help. Like, yeah, so I felt inadequate, and so I decided, you know, because I had been talking with several people about it and all that.
You looked for
so
partners.
we decided, I just talked to two of my friends. Were like, can you just start an organization, and probably, you know, we can do much more than just creation of awareness. We are able to even reach more women, you know, even those who are not on social media. Then we'll be able to get to them and pass this message to them as well. So that's what we did. We went ahead, we founded an organization, Calmine Foundation, and it's not a registered organization, and we started with, you know, creation of awareness. So what we do is that we organize events through which now we are able to reach to moms and dads and share that information with them.
And you mentioned people who are not on social media as well. So how do you reach out to them?
So we have gone to support groups program. So what we have done is that we have started a program on support groups. So we are reaching out to even those moms in the slums. So the latest one that we launched, was in Kawangware, where we have 2 support groups for the pregnant moms and for the new moms. Unfortunately, we have not been able to reach out to the dads as much as we would want to. Yes, because again, before a man is even willing to accept that they're struggling and they need help and come to you for help, it is quite a challenge
and
for
also
us.
like what you experienced, because the men also need to understand.
They need to
it doesn't affect their marriage, so there's an importance for them to be in the room.
Yes, and to even come in and support, because then they'll understand why it's very important for them to be included in that journey and to be there to support you, to hold that baby when need, you know, arises, to change that diaper, you know, like all that support. It's very important for them to have that information.
So now as Calmine, what support are you offering?
What we started was WhatsApp group. So we started with a WhatsApp group that currently has over 150 moms.
Wow.
So yes, so that's why we started. So we just started having conversations about, you know, just general issues that moms go through, because those are the ones that yield into depression. Like what you do, my baby is colic. I have had a baby who is colic, so I would probably advise them 1 or 2. It probably will work for them, you know, just as it did for me, or someone else will have another alternative, and so it helps just having that conversation, peer-to-peer support. So it came in handy. And then now we also have volunteer counselors. So if you feel like someone has made that call and they need support, then we are able to
help available.
Yes, there's available. Yeah, so we connect them to a counselor and they're able to work with them until they are okay. If they feel like they are beyond counseling, because again, remember, if it goes beyond just depression, there gets to a point where they might even need medication, even with depression.
Did you get there yourself?
I did not get there myself, I thank God. Yeah, I got help in time, so I did not get there. So for me, counseling worked. Yeah.
So can you speak to the mom who is either labeled by others or herself as bad mom? What can you tell her?
There is no such thing as a bad mom. Let me tell you, what happens is that it's so easy for you to label that mom who has gone and abandoned the baby on the roadside as a bad mom. You hear of stories of moms who have, you know, thrown their babies in a pit latrine, and you'll be like, what? You carried your baby only to go and throw them in a pit latrine? You have heard in the media of moms who have, you know, killed their own babies. Yes. And those who have committed suicide and left their babies, you know. So it is very easy to label a mom as a bad mom. And it's so easy at that time when you're struggling to label yourself as a bad mom. But what I can tell you is that, one, you're not alone. There's so many mothers who go through what you're going through. And secondly, it's okay to admit that, because it starts with admission that I'm not okay and probably I need help. The moment you admit that you need help and you start looking for help, that is where your healing starts. So don't label yourself as a bad mom just because you're having a low moment, just because you feel like you don't love your baby enough, just because you feel like you're not able to do what you thought would be so, you know, automatic, you know. Yeah, so it is very easy. It is true, it is very easy for you to label yourself as a bad mom, but it's very important to know that you're not alone. There are many of us who have been there and have been able to overcome it, so you too can overcome it. With the right kind of help, you can feel better and you can get better.
Please speak to, it could be the fathers, it could be grandparents, if you don't have the father in the home with you. What can you tell a support system around a mom who has postpartum depression? What signs can they look out for, and how best can they support a mother who's experiencing depression?
So for the people who are around a new
Close to
mom,
them,
yes, they are the first point of support for this mom. So they're the ones who can, they have such a big role to play in helping this mom not get into a mental illness. And one of the things that they can do, of course, is offer support. And by offering support, I mean, like, if you can help that mom with that baby so she can sleep, please do. If you can hold that baby and the mom goes out for a walk for half an hour, please do. More than anything, please remind them that they are good moms, because words are
Words of
everything.
affirmation.
Yes, words of affirmation. Because at that time, everything, like I told you, you're always thinking about very negative things.
Yeah.
So if someone tells you something positive and you're able to think that positive, like, oh yeah, I'm trying, it goes a long
helps.
way. It helps it is huge. Like, at least you're able to make me think something positive. That even if I'm struggling like this, I'm actually trying. Like I'll be okay. Yeah, just tell them you'll be okay. Just tell them I know you're not okay, but it's okay not to be okay, because you have a new human being that you demands so much of you. You were not used to this, and that's why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Just affirm to them that
Constantly affirm them.
Constantly affirm them. Remind them, and the more they try to push you away, because that will happen. When you're depressed, you always feel like you just want time alone and to be alone, But the more they try to push you away, force yourself. Okay, don't force yourself always, but try to get means to get to them. Like, just so that you are able to give them support at a close and make them confident enough to be able to tell you how they truly feel. Because remember, if you go away, I will not just come and tell you, what, I'm so sad, I'm so overwhelmed right now. But if you are constantly there just asking me, how can I help you again? How are you doing today? Don't give
Keep
up.
persisting
Do not
until...
give up on them. Do not give up on them. It is very, very important that you do not.
And how is it different with your third child?
Now, it is very funny that my second born and my third born, they have a very small age gap. Yeah, and it is, you would assume that it's very natural that I might just get a relapse with my third baby, because remember, the gap, they're like twins, they both demand so much of your time and attention. But with my third baby, I had done a lot of research. I had understood a lot about depression. I had been there. I knew what the signs for me looked like. So by the time I got to that baby, and I knew now, okay, fine, I'm pregnant. One, I knew that it's when you have a depression, you have had a history of depression, you're very likely to get a relapse. Yes, you are very likely to get a relapse. So you have to be very aware. Yes. So I was very aware that now I need to be very intentional about things. And so the moment baby came, I knew there are things that I had to do differently. And I had to realize that I'm not a super mom. I had that information. So I made it practical now in my life. Yes. So me and my husband, we just work out a plan, like, this is what you're going to do. This is what we are going to do. We are going to make sure that you have as much help as you need, and it's okay, and don't feel guilty about asking for help with baby, because you need it and you need to rest.
So you're real with yourself. You're honest with yourself, and you were ready.
Yes, and I was very ready to help myself. So every time I felt like I'm getting overwhelmed, and I know for me walking helps, I just wear my sports shoes and just walk. I just leave the house and I just go in and walk.
In fact, what can you tell women as you wrap? Self-care tips for new moms as you finish up.
Okay, so self-care tips. One, remember, talking helps. Like, talking is a therapy in itself.
It is.
So don't hold things in yourself. Like, don't feel like you are ashamed. Will they judge me if I say I'm not okay? Will they judge me if I tell them that I'm losing it? Just of course you need to know who to target, because of course it's not everyone who can be that open to, but you need that very close circle who you can always open up to and tell them, this is what I need. I am not okay. Can you support me in this way? So talking is very, very key. And then two, you can figure out what works for you. Do you love music? Does music help you relax? Does it make you feel better? Go for music. If walking is walking your thing, you feel like when you walk, when you come back, you're feeling better, go for the walk. If you feel like you want to go to, like gym for like 30 minutes and come back because it helps you feel better, go for it. You feel like you just want to go to the salon and just for like an hour and just pamper yourself, and you come back feeling better, do it. Remember that when you're okay, you need to prioritize on you being okay. Because when you are okay, then you're able to produce milk for your baby. And so baby will be fine. And you have the energy. If you have slept during the day enough and baby starts waking up at night for so many hours, then you have the energy for it. So when you take care of yourself, you have not only helped yourself, you have helped your baby be better. The bond between you and your baby will be better. The bond, if you're married, with your husband will be better, because then you're going to be able to interact, you're able to communicate, you're better. And that is what became of me. With my third baby, I can tell you, my baby right now is 9 months. I have been so well.
You've enjoyed it.
I have enjoyed it.
Nice.
And as opposed to what I would have expected, Yeah, so I was very intentional about things. So this one, you have to be very intentional. You just don't decide today I have time, let me walk. No, you have to make sure you make time for it. You're like, I need to make time for sleep. It will not come as a by the way. No, I need to sleep. I need to get help. Please get someone to help with the baby. Go and sleep. So be very intentional about things and help yourself. However, if you feel like even after helping yourself, you're not able to get out of that place where you're feeling, please ask help. Yeah, go to a counselor, let them help you through that journey. If a counselor not be enough, they'll send you to help. Probably you need medication, so they're going to be able to send you to help. You get the medication that you need and you will be fine. And another thing I want to say, Grace, is that medication for a maternal mental illness or a mental illness, any mental illness, does not mean that you are crazy. It does not mean label you as a failure. It is an illness like any other. So please do not feel like you're a failure because you're taking a mental illness medication. No. If you get malaria, if you get any other illness, we will not just tell you snap out of it. Can you just get yourself back together? Like for me, it's easy for you to tell me, because I'm a happy person. I'm always out there. So it's so easy for you to tell me, like, what's up with you? You can get better. You need to get yourself better. No, it is not like that. It's not as fast and as quick as that. You sometimes need help, and it is okay to ask for that help. Yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing your story with us.
Thank you very much.
Welcome us to your home.
Thank you very much.
I think I saw this on your page. They say it takes a village to raise a child, but it also takes a village to help a mom.
Yes, very, very important.
It's a whole community.
Yeah, when we come there with, when the community comes there with flasks with uchi and all those, because you need milk. Yeah, let them come and support you with your rest as well and all that. And the moment the community supports you, you feel supported and you're well. It goes a long way.
So thank you so much for all these reminders. I hope there's a mom at home who's gotten some assistance, who knows what to do when they feel overwhelmed, and can reach out to Calm Mind Foundation.
Yes,
I believe they're on Facebook. We'll share the details below so you can reach out any time you need the support. Thank you so much for making time for Unscripted. We appreciate your viewership. See you again next week. Same place, same time. Until then, God bless and goodbye.